Hello and welcome back to Tottenham Logic TV. Spurs have won again in Europe. 1-0 versus AZ Alkmaar. What a performance by a certain player, which I will get into in a bit. But there's lots to talk about in today's game. The penalty malarkey. How did the teenagers get on? Um, Magic Mikey Moore, Timo Werner, and much more today. So if you're new to this channel, please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We have a good community on here, lots of logical people. That's why we're called Tottenham Logic. So let's get into the game first. So the game was, I'd say, a bit flat in the first half. The best player on the pitch was definitely James Maddison. He was running the show for midfield. His skill, you know what? His skill has definitely improved lately. He's even in tight spaces when they're putting two on him, who seems to keep wriggling out of trouble. He was doing very well. He was the bright spark in the first half. Mikey Moore was trying to take people on. It wasn't coming off. Bergvall was showing glimpses of brilliance. Dragusin was playing solid at the back with Ben Davis. We've kept another clean sheet, which is a good thing. But let's start with Maddison. Now, Maddison had nothing to prove today. Yesterday, so he didn't play today. But Maddison had nothing to prove. He played very well against Crystal Palace. You know, he created at Crystal Palace, West Ham. He created 5 chances and got 1 assist. So he got taken off just for tactical reasons, not because of playing bad. And I think it was very good man management from Ange Postecoglou to make him captain against Alkmaar yesterday. I think that was a very good touch, and it proved to be the best decision because Maddison played a very huge part in our win yesterday. The way he was just running past people like they weren't even there, almost won us a penalty, creating chances left, right, and centre. You know, dribbling past players. He was playing very. He was the best player in the first half by a million miles. Good morning, Chalks. How you doing, mate? And good morning, Hood Zico. I hope I'm saying that right. Good morning, people. So Maddison was probably the bright spark in the first half. Bergvall was running around a lot, putting in a lot of challenges, showing some glimpses of brilliance, because that outside of the ball pass to Timo Werner was spot on, and Werner done his usual and missed, but we'll get on to Werner in a bit. So Maddison and Bergvall were working very well in the middle together. I didn't have that spark that Kulu brings, but he's still learning. He's only 18 years old. Now, I've seen some people already saying Bergvall wasn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. He's 18. He's still learning. His first proper game, like back from an injury. When you make 9 changes as well from your first 11, players gelling together is not easy. So playing against an Alkmaar side that are, to me, are quite solid. It's not easy just to put 11 players together and go, there you go out and win. I think they've done extremely well, and they have done it all through this competition so far. It's brilliant to be able to rest players for the Premier League games, and we've won all 3 Europa League games. So you can't ask much more from your squad, to be honest. They've even got us through in the League Cup as well. So they're doing what they need to do, and they're improving, in my opinion, week on week. They're learning from each game. They had to dig in today, which is another learning experience from just coming on 10 minutes from the end from a 4-1 victory. They had to earn the win today. And Bergvall showed glimpses of great passing ability. His work rate is very strong. I think he got cramped towards the end, but he's the guy that won us the penalty as well, coming in trying to shoot. He created some chances as well in that game. So I'm quite happy with Bergvall. He needs improving. He knows he needs improving. To get to the level to play in the Premier League, he needs to get better, but I think he done okay. And if we move on to another teenager, Archie Gray, he was very assured, very good on the ball, very good at knowing which pass, doing the correct pass. His vision's very good. The only thing I'd say about him was he was getting rinsed way too easily by that Poku guy. That Poku guy is very good. He reminds me of Doku for I thought it was him for a second. Bloody every time he said Poku, I thought, you sure that's not Doku? He was running past Gray at will, but he didn't really create anything. And that's the weirdest thing. Poku kept getting past Gray, but Gray kept getting back, and Poku never really created anything, to be honest, in my opinion. But Gray's not really a right back. So I know he's played right back a lot for Leeds, and he's played right back a lot for us, even in pre-season, but he's not a right back. He would be perfect in the midfield because he's so good on the ball. Such good vision. He can get out of trouble. Even when players are around him, he can get past them. Playing him right back is a waste, in my opinion, and it's a big, massive shame that Jed Spence wasn't playing, or not in the squad, because Jed Spence at right back and then put Archie Gray in the midfield. That would have been much better, in my opinion. But he did all right. I think he held his own. We kept a clean sheet with him at right back, with Davis at centre back, with Dragusin at centre back. So basically, 3 out of our 4 centre defenders were reserve players. So I think we did very, very well to keep a clean sheet. There's never a point in this game where I thought, oh, they're going to score in a minute. Peter says, hi all, 826 Melbourne. Hi Peter, how you doing, mate? You okay? Hood Zico, yes, Spence right back and Gray midfield. Yeah, definitely. So I'm still confused by Spence not being in the Europa League squad, especially because we're thin at the back already. But I think after the group stages, we're allowed to we enter another squad, so we can add Spence to the squad if needed for the knockout stages, which I think would be a very clever idea. Because if anything happened to Porro, we're stuffed really in that position. Because Gray is good, but he's not good enough. Like if we need to win the Europa League, we can't be playing Archie Gray at the right back. No way. Gray didn't do much wrong, but he's just not a right back. You can see it a million miles away. He's so good on the ball that he needs to be playing in the middle, in my opinion. So Udogie was another one I thought played. It was the only player on the pitch, I'd say, that played really well in both halves. He was everywhere. He was winning the ball back. He was marauding forward. He was creating chances. He was a thorn in their side all day long. He played very, very well. That was Udogie getting back to his best. And I remember thinking, he's one of our senior players, but he's not. He's like, I think he's 20 or 21 years old. I can't remember exactly how old he is, but he's still really, really young. But he looked like one of our veteran players, if you know what I mean. He looked like he is our first teamer, but he looked like one of the more experienced players. Like, and he's not. He's still one of the youngsters as well. The amount of young players we had out on that pitch is unreal and it's unreal to me to be getting 3 wins in a row and only conceding 1 goal as well. That's not bad, considering if you look at what Man United are doing, they haven't won a game yet in the Europa League. They've only got 3 points, and I think they're 23rd in the league or something. So comparisons to, and that's Man United's first team, by the way, and we're playing reserve team, and we're miles ahead of them at the moment, miles ahead. So it needs a lot of respect on these players' names, what they're actually doing in this league. So another player I want to talk about is actually I want to talk about that penalty for a little bit that we got in the second half. Wow. Richarlison knows Maddison's the penalty taker, but he picks it up anyway and says, "Can I have it?" It wasn't like those ones we've seen before where they're pushing and shoving each other and arguing. Maddison told him what's what, but then I think it was a nice touch that Maddison was a captain and he decided to give it to him because he wants to boost Richarlison's confidence, and he knew that would be better for the team. And I think that was a nice touch from Maddison, and lucky that Richarlison scored, because if Richarlison didn't score that, there could have been an upheaval and we could have ended up not drawing 0-0 because of it, and then Richarlison's confidence would have gone lower, not higher. So that could have backfired, but how it turned out was good. And I think that was good from James Maddison, to be honest. Let's talk now a little bit about Werner, because it has to be said. Listen, I'm not going to slate him or anything. He gets in all the right positions. He never stops running. He works very, very hard. But as soon as he gets into that final third and he has to deliver, he just can't do it. And I think there's rumours now saying that Werner's going to be let go in January, not at the end of the season. And I think because of the emergence of Moore and the fact that Yang's coming in January as well means there's going to be no place for more. We're going to have Odegaard look very sharp when he came on. You've got Johnson that's on fire at the moment. You've got Yang. You've got Moore coming through now. Richarlison can play on the wings if need be. Kulusevski can play on the wings if need be. Sonny's there. Solanke. Like, there's no space for Werner. Look, I've tried to not slag him off. I'm not the biggest Werner fan just because I know his confidence is poor and I know he's not gonna produce for us. And it has to be said now. Werner should not be getting game time. If we've got Moore there, Moore is gone up the pecking order in my opinion. And that leads me to let's talk about Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore in the second half. In the first half, he was trying to make things work. He was playing on the right wing. I don't think right wing is his natural position. We all realised in the second half what it was. But in the first half, Mikey Moore was trying to make things happen. His nice little touches, nice little dribbles, but nothing was really coming off. He almost scored with that header, with that brilliant Werner cross. That's the only good thing Werner did in the whole game, I think, in my opinion. And he should have really got the header on target. He knows he made a mistake. But let's talk about that second half. Oh, my God. For 20 minutes in that second half, he was unplayable. And I don't give a fuck who says to me, you're overhyping this guy. When somebody plays that well, I don't care if you was bought in for 100 million. I don't care if you was you're the best player on the pitch. This guy needs to be hyped up for what he did in that 20 minutes. He ripped ARZ Alkmaar apart. They could not handle him. His dribbling was insane. He dribbles so fast and makes decisions on where he's going to go before you can even set yourself as a defender. He was going through him like they weren't even there. And then his decision afterwards, after he's run past them all, to get past all those players and then play that outside of the football vision to Johnson. And Johnson should have done better, to be honest. But that could have been one of the best assists of the season for what he just did there. Then straight after that, only 2 minutes later, he starts running past all their players again, like they weren't even there. Then he put in that low cross after a dribble into the box, into 6-yard box, somewhere where Solanke would have fed off that. I don't think he was on the pitch at the time. And his crossing was pinpoint. His crossing is basically, if you get Timo Werner and you get Moore, it's like the opposites. They're both opposite. Moore was full of confidence and Werner had zero confidence. Moore was insanely brilliant. And I had to pinch myself that he literally only just turned 17 in September. He was 16 a couple of months ago. Just over a month ago. He was still 16. And he looked like in that 20-minute spell, he looked like the best player on the pitch. Even James Maddison said he looked like Neymar. We thought we had Neymar on the wing, the way he was just running past people. It has to be said, I don't care about people saying he's getting overhyped. If somebody plays that well at home, did you see the crowd? Like, they were all on the feet. Every time he got the ball, the crowd were getting excited. We haven't had a player like that since, Sonny was in his prime. Like, every time he got the ball, the crowd were getting excited. They were getting on their feet. They were so happy that they're singing "He's one of our own." He must have enjoyed yesterday. And to me now, if Sonny's not playing, it should be more. I'm telling you now, it should be more. I don't mind Odegaard as well if Odegaard comes in and plays, but like more now. Wow, what more do you want from this guy? His vision's good. His dribbling's good. His passing range is good. His crossing's good. His work rate's good. Like, this guy, he's going to be phenomenal. If he carries on getting better, because he's still got lots to learn. He can learn off Sonny. He can learn off Maddison. He can learn off Kulu. He's got so much to learn still. And he's 17 at the moment. Can you imagine when he gets to the age of 21, how good this guy's going to be? He's going to be insane. And what a bunch of young lads we've got coming through at the moment. Oh, my God. Another guy I want to talk about is Bentancur. Bentancur had a bit of a flat first half, but really dominated the midfield in the second half. You could tell he was on the pitch. You can tell he was the man in the number 6 role. He was protecting Dragusin and Davis very, very well. He was the main reason why we got the clean sheet yesterday. I remember when Poku got through and Bentancur came out of nowhere and blocked his shot, which was brilliant. He's great on the ball. He's always good on the ball. And he's always looking forward to link the midfield up with the forward players. Very, very good performance by Bentancur. Probably went under the radar a little bit from what Moore did, because Moore really, really shone yesterday. Really, really shone. Keeping a clean sheet is good. We've won 3 in 3 in Europe now, which is amazing. We've won 7 of the last 8 now, I think it is. For all you people out there that wanted consistency, oh my God, we've got consistency now. 7 of the last 8. Everyone keeps saying, well, it's the caliber of teams you're playing. Well, what can you do? You can't change the fixtures. You can only win the teams in front of you. And, we had potential banana skins all the way through this run of winning games, and we've got through every single one of them. So it's looking very, very good, to be honest. So Yang will be coming in January as well. So the forward line now has improved, in my opinion. So we've got Yang coming in January. We've got Odebear, who looked very sharp when he came on. Hopefully he can start, getting good performances in. He's only played 2 full games so far. We've got Johnson, who's hitting a lot of goals lately. Solanke's fitted into the system perfectly well. Richarlison's back to put pressure on Solanke as well. Sonny, obviously. So our forward line is starting to look very, very strong. And I can see us banging in a lot of bloody goals. Yeah, I keep saying it every week, but there's going to be a week where we score 6 or 7 against someone. I keep saying it. It's coming. It's going to happen against someone. Ada says we're winning with our wonder kids and our second goalie. We'll definitely win the Europa League or at least reach the final. Yeah, exactly. And the only teams I would be worried about in the Europa League is, for some reason, it'll be Fenerbahce for me, because they drew with Man United last night. I know Man United ain't that great, but what I mean is they've got Mourinho, and it's just for some reason I'm just worried about him. I just hope if we get to the final, it's not against Fenerbahce, because Mourinho could come back to haunt us, and I really don't want that to happen. Another team I'll be worried about, and it's going to be a huge test for us, is our next Europa League game. If we play these youngsters away in Turkey to Galatasaray, who have got, what's that guy? They've got Osherman on loan up front, by the way. And Icardi as well, I think they've got up front. They've got some very, very good, talented forward players. So our defense is going to be massively tested, especially away. Can the youngsters handle the away game? But the way Moore played today, he could rip fucking Galatasaray apart. He's better than both those players. Oh my God. So it's going to be interesting when we play, because we in the Europa League, in my opinion, we've played some half decent sides, but we haven't played decent sides. So like when we play like Galatasaray away and Roma and things like that, that's when we'll see how well we actually are and what we're doing. Ardo says, I'm Turkish Cypriot, and I can say Turkish away games are really tough. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying, Ardo, mate. It's very, very hard to go away to a Galatasaray side, and that's something we shouldn't underestimate. And to be honest, if we have a full bill of health, I'd say Postecoglou would go with a stronger lineup against them just to get the points on the board. If we go to Galatasaray, get a win, beat Roma, we can rest a couple of players then for the last few games, because we're probably qualified by then. It's going to be very difficult to go to Galatasaray. They've got some very, very good players, so we have to watch out for that. So all in all, it's looking good. We're getting that consistency in our play. Even like Arda said, even our reserved players now are. I don't like calling them reserve players. I say our squad players, because some of these squad players can play a part in the Premier League as well. And it's going to be interesting to see, like, when we get to the knockout stages, and I truly believe we'll get to the knockout stages of the Europa League. It's going to be interesting to see if he brings Spence into that, because we can change our squad for the Europa League knockout phases. If we bring Spence in and make us even stronger. sign a couple of players in January, there's no reason why we can't go on and win that competition. The only people we have to watch out for is if Man United, change managers and end up getting some form. Galatasaray is going to be a tough one. Lazio are looking very, very good at the moment. Copenhagen ain't no pushovers. There's going to be some tough games coming up, but there's no reason if we didn't put our first team out, more of a first team out, that we can batter any of these teams the way we're playing at the moment. But we still remember it's a long, long way to go. And hopefully we have lots of luck with injuries because that could derail our season massively. So what do you think? What do people think in the comments at the moment? If you're just joining, please smash that like button. It's free. It's easy to do. It means a lot to me. It shows this channel to a wider audience. And if you've not yet subscribed, please smash that subscribe button. Give me a comment on today's tell you what, smash that like button if you think Mikey Moore should be higher up in the pecking order to Timo Werner now. Who would you rather be playing? Smash that like button if you'd rather Mikey Moore plays in front of Werner now. There's rumors that Werner's going to be going in January now instead of at the end of the season, which in my opinion would be a brilliant idea. Get him off the books. And if we got him off the books, bring Spence into the Europa League squad instead, because I'd rather have Spence back there playing right back than Archie Gray. Bring Archie Gray in the midfield with Bergvall and Bentancur, and I reckon that midfield would thrive. It's there's so much positives to take out of yesterday's game. Like, is any of you as well? Are you all getting excited watching these squad players play? Because last season we didn't even get a chance to see any of these players playing. And then when the squad players came in, they were cold because they weren't playing any games. So this can only, like, when people said that the Europa League was us not being in Europe was an advantage last season, I think it was a disadvantage. I think the advantage would have been being able to play squad players, getting them match fit, ready to come in when needed. So this is only going to make our season even stronger this year. And I keep saying it. I think we can finish third in the Premier League. I did a video, take a look at it. It's a few days, or probably about 4 or 5 days ago, about us finishing on 81 points, which in my opinion would get us third in the league. If we could finish third in the league and bloody win a trophy, what a season that would be for your second season. And then, if you can finish third, win a trophy, mentality goes up. The manager, gets to stay for another year. He'll get a few more players that he wants in. The squad will be even stronger, and then we can push on from there. The third season could be amazing. But again, I might be getting over positive about things, but that's the way I am. I can look at things like that because why not? We've got, the younger players would have a season under their belt, so they'd have a year's worth of experience going into next season. We've got some very, very skillful forwards now and very quick players. We've got like Solanke's quick, by the way, and very, very good in that number 9 position. Very good at the pressing. Odeberg's quick and very skillful. Yang is quick, very skillful. Johnson's quick and knows where the goal is. Mikey Moore now, look how good he is at dribbling and crossing, and he's very, very fast. Especially, he's very, very quick on the ball. Do you know what I mean? So look at all these players we've got coming through forward wise. Sonny's still there at the moment as well. It's looking very, very good forward. Like at the beginning of the season, people were saying that our forward line was our weakest part, but look how many goals we're banging in. We scored 18 goals in the Premier League already. How many goals we scored in this? 5 goals, 6 goals in the Europa League, playing our teenagers. It's looking very, very good. And you can see like every single game, like no matter who's playing, we want to dominate that game and create chances and score goals. So I'm very, very happy with how things are going at the moment. And touch wood, we don't get any injuries, but if we did, well, let's look at it. How many people have been injured so far already? Sonny, Odeberg, Richarlison, Basuma, your doggy's been out, Van der Ven's been out. We've had people out already this season, and we've coped with it very, very well. Look at the players that weren't playing last night. Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Kulusevski. I know he came on, but he didn't start the game. Solanke didn't come on. Sonny, we've got. it looks like our squad is a lot stronger than it was mentioned at the beginning of the season. And when we said we had a shit window, well, it doesn't look like it, does it? Because look at West Ham, who won the window, by the way. Look how poorly they're playing at the moment, and look how poor their season is. When it's not good to win the window. Anybody that wins the window doesn't seem to have a very good fucking season. It's weird. And so for me, it's brilliant. Everything's heading in the right direction. I know it could all come crashing down when we play against Crystal Palace, but I don't think so. I think we'll go to Crystal Palace with a lot of confidence, and Kulusevski's on fire. Mikey Moore might get some minutes because of the way he played. If Sonny can't play, because I think Sonny will be available for Crystal Palace, but if not, I'm not too worried if you've got Mikey Moore playing like that. Bloody hell. And if he carries on playing like that and he ends up getting better and better because of match time and getting more games, who says that he won't knock Sonny off out of position? Because what a performance that 20-minute spell was. I haven't seen people play like that for a long, long time. And he was getting bums off seats. What a player he is. Arda says, people saying it was a bad window because we only invested in future and not signed some proved players. Well, would you say that Solanke was a proven player? And Solanke came in and fits the system perfectly. The way he came in now and the way he's just sat in that number 9 and linked everything together in his relentless pressing, I'd say that was a very good signing. Bergvall and Gray and Odeberg showed that they could get us through in the European competitions. And isn't it about a squad? Yeah, except Solanke. Okay, I'll let you off. But isn't it about what I think what the plan was get the youngsters in to be squad players. I think Ange said the first team are strong enough for now. Bring in some squad players to strengthen us for the Europa League games, and then next season bring in a couple of quality caliber players. And hey presto, by next season, by January and by 2 more transfer windows, our squad could look very, very dangerous. And that, well, we still don't even know how Odeberg's going to be, because he can't be judged. He's only played 2 games. He can't be judged. And even him coming on for that cameo yesterday looked very, very sharp. Almost scored as well, like with his first touch, with his first shot. And then straight after that, nearly scored again. So Odeberg's still got things to prove yet. Archie Gray's looked assured. Bergvall looks okay. The signings haven't been too bad to me, in my opinion. Yang still hasn't even come in and had a game yet. We don't know how good he's going to be. He's a very quick, skillful player that would probably fit the system perfectly. You can't, and and the worst thing is, everybody's judged this window before they've even seen them play. How can you do that? How can you judge players, even young ones, before they've even played? Like, how many channels now have you seen saying don't overhype Mikey Moore? He's still very, very young, but look how he played yesterday. No one saw that coming. They saw he played very well against Ferencváros. He played very well against them, but nowhere near the level he played yesterday against Alkmaar. Yes, he's got to do it on a consistent basis. Yes, he's got a lot to learn. Yes, he's very young, but you have to praise a player when he plays that good. It wasn't like he just played well for a 17-year-old. He was, in that 20-minute spell, he was the best player on that pitch by a country mile. His passing, his crossing, his dribbling, everything was on point. His vision, his work rate. He's going to be talked about a lot in the next couple of days, because you'll see any YouTube channel now and they'll all be talking about Mikey Moore, how well he played yesterday, because that was an amazing performance. And to be fair, credit has to be given to Ange Postecoglou, because he, at halftime, Mikey Moore didn't do too much in that first half. He was looking lively. He weren't playing bad, but he weren't playing amazingly good. Werner was playing probably the same level as him, but just missed easy chances. So it would have been easy for Ange to just take Mikey Moore off and put Johnson on, like for like sort of thing. But he see that Werner had no confidence. He saw that he wasn't going to get no output from Werner. So he thought, you know what? I'm going to take Werner off. And, he could have played on his mental health and said, no, we need to try and see if he can get confidence. But maybe he's losing confidence and trying to get Werner confidence, if that makes sense. So he did a very good decision to bring Johnson on the right and put Moore in his favoured position in his left. Because you've got to remember, Moore's much better on the left-hand side than he is on the right. And so for me now, Mikey Moore is definitely backup to Sonny, not Werner. And if the rumours are correct that Werner's going in January, I'll be more than happy. Werner to me is just got no confidence, and I can't even see that confidence coming back, to be honest. I like Werner as a guy. I like him. I love his work rate. I love his movement. He still doesn't shy away from the ball. He's very quick. He takes on his man. He did that really good cross in the first half, but enough's enough now. Werner just cannot finish. He cannot cross the ball. He panics too much. He's got no confidence, and he needs a therapist, not a manager anymore. Ada says, what do I think about the Palace game? So I think it's going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy game. I know we're on massive form. Palace haven't won a game all season, by the way. So what better game for them, a London derby, to try and get their season up and running. Gladstone's still a good manager. He'll know what to do to play against Spurs. He'll know our weaknesses. But with the way we're playing and our relentless pressing and the form that Kulusevski's in, this could be a reason why we didn't get Eze in the end, because Kulu would have been the secret weapon to play in that number 10 role. And to be honest, he's playing a much better season than what Eze's having, a much better season. And I'd take Kulu over Eze any day of the week, to be honest. I think we can beat Palace. There's no reason why we can't. I think we'd probably concede. There'd probably be a bit of brilliance from Eze. If he plays well, he might have a poor game, but you know what? I think we could keep a clean sheet in that game. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win versus Palace. I really think it's going to be. I started off saying it's going to be tough, but we'll win 3-0. I think it'll be a case of it'll be a tough first half, like it was against West Ham, and then we'll demolish them again in the second half. I just think Ange will do something. He'll change something at half time, and we'll end up winning that game easily in the end. Werner's not clinical. He needs to hit the target near the post. Yeah, that's what Edward says. Yeah, exactly. When he gets the ball, you just know he's not going to score. And I think he knows he's not going to score. And he's got no conviction. I think that's what Glenn Hoddle said in the commentating yesterday. It's just he's got no conviction of where he needs to put that ball. Ada said, I checked all the games. They don't score much, but they also don't concede. So I think 1-0 win. Now, you could be right there, mate, but they don't concede. They've had some very close games, and I think they've played the likes of Liverpool as well, and they've played Forest, who, by the way, Forest win 1-0 every week at the moment. So yeah, they don't concede much and they don't score much. I think they've scored 5 goals this season, and we've scored 18. And if you think about it, I think they've conceded like 6 or something, and we've only conceded 9. So we don't concede that much either, to be honest. Yeah, it's one of those games where it could go 1-0 to us, or it could be 3-0. I'm sticking with 3-0 because it's just our relentless attacking on their defense. They will sit. I think they will play a low block, but if we get the first goal, they will have to come out. They can't sit at home and just defend a 1-0 like deficit. They won't be able to. So they will open up, in my opinion. And if they opened up, I think then it will be curtains for them. Just like West Ham. When we got that equaliser against West Ham opened up again. We ended up scoring 3 goals in 7 minutes. If we play as well as we did against Man United, against Brentford, against first half against Brighton, and against second half against West Ham, Palace won't be able to deal with us, I don't think. Ada says, I want us to batter them 3-0 or something. Yeah, exactly. I do. Another London derby win, by the way, if we can get that. We beat them twice last year, remember? And I think we beat them with Van der Ven and Maddison out last year as well. And they had Glasner just started them when they had the new manager bounce and everything. We still beat them 2-1. So there's every chance that we can beat them again. And remember, Elise is not playing for them anymore either, and he was a quality player. We've got to watch out for people like Adam Wharton and Eze. They've still got some quality players, but I just think our team's a lot stronger, and I think we can get the victory over them. I think we could probably beat them Yeah, I think I'm sticking with 3-0. It could be 3-1, but I think it'll be my prediction is going to be 3-0 for this game. We need to keep another clean sheet. We need to start, shoring up at the back. Basuma had a quality game against West Ham. Let's hope he can play like that again against Crystal Palace. If Sonny's back as well, if Sonny's back, he was on fire against West Ham. If he can play like that again, he will cause them all sorts of problems. Mikey Moore be waiting in the wings now to play as well. He might cause them some damage when he comes on. Solanke's been playing very well. Johnson will be looking to score again. So I just don't think Crystal Palace can handle us. I just don't think they will be able to cope with the relentless pressure we're going to put on their defence. And if we can score first, I think the crowd will start, turning against Palace as well. Because Glasgow might be under a bit of pressure at the moment because they're in bottom 3 at the minute. They had such a good run at the end of last season, and they've just seemed to have turned into a different team this season. So hopefully we can get the points. If we didn't, let's say, and we ended up drawing 1-1 or something, and we didn't win, there wouldn't be a meltdown for me. Going away to Crystal Palace has always been a hard place to go for us. So I wouldn't have a meltdown. Long as we don't lose, I still wouldn't have a meltdown if we did, but we should be beating Crystal Palace. That's all I'm saying. Especially like we're way above them in the league. We're 10 points ahead of them at the moment. It's all looking like we should beat them. Yeah. So I've got to go in a minute because I've got to get myself some food. Got to go out, get on busy man today. So smash that like button before you leave. It's nice to talk to you all again. Glad we got another win. That's 7 wins in 8 now. Let's see if we can make it 8 wins in 9 versus Palace. Keep that consistency going. We've won 3 and 3 in Europa League now. It's all looking good. The youngsters are looking good. The first team's looking good. So it's all looking good heading towards that Christmas period where you need to get as many points as possible on the board. We've got Man City coming up, so looking forward to seeing that game. Hopefully we can get through to the quarterfinals of the League Cup and then, positive vibes all the way through. Thank you all for watching. Please join me on the next one. The next one may be tomorrow, Sunday, or maybe even Monday. I'm not sure yet, depending if I get time to do it. But great to talk to you all again, and I'll see you on the next one. And come on, you Spurs.